Second take. Let's see if I can do this without getting angry. 3 Russian caliber missiles, it's spelled with a K, supposed to be, hit Jaysh al-Fateh location, that's the title of the type of location, Dera, Izzat, which is supposed to be a physical location on a map that is suspiciously very similar to the spelling right nearby this where they were supposed to happen, of a completely different location, and it is very interesting that it isn't spelled a certain way, near Mount Simon in Aleppo, Syria. These 3 missiles are reported to have hit 30 terrorists in an operations room. These terrorist officers were from Turkey, the United States, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Britain, and the Mossad was involved, of course. AKA every country that is used as for hate-mongering by Iran, Syria, and Russia. All of them were killed. According to an Arabic-only version article on the Russia KGB-controlled news agency page Sputnik, only citing battlefield sources, no other citations, and it's 2 paragraphs long. I'm going to read most of it, by the way. And it was published on the 20th of September 2016. And it was rebleeded by Iran's news agency, Fars. It's a farce. It's another state-run mouthpiece propaganda agency, and it's rebleeded for Al-Mazar News, Daily Informer, Global Research, and of course it has to be Zero Hedge and everybody else who doesn't care what they do to people or what BS they cause or whether something's real or true, as long as it fits in with what people want to hear so they can bang on the table as they scream this over dinner. A little background on the words here. Caliber with a K is a Russian cruise missile. That's their cruise missile. Why not spell it correctly? Because if it's not spelled correctly, you can't find out it's a Russian cruise missile. Mount Simon, or Simon, or Leylun, is a highland region, mountainous region, in northern Syria's Aleppo governmental area. Province, whatever. D-E-R-A-I-Z-Z-A-T is most likely a misspelling for a nearby city, really close to where this is supposed to have happened, and something else that day, by the way. But Dar Ta Iza. But it doesn't show up on a map. I'd like a map listing. I'd like someone to give me the map listing so I can see that there was a misspelling. There was a translation error. By the way, the translated version of the origin story here is below, and it's 2 paragraphs long, posted by a site that posts things in every language because they're of propaganda value, and this is good propaganda value if you're Russian, and it's not in English. It's only meant for the Arabic population to read. No, this isn't suspicious in any way, shape, or form, and I'm not going to pop everybody's pimple over this. What happened on that day that might be kind of, sort of similar? A Red Crescent, that's the Arabic version of the Red Cross, convoy was mysteriously hit by what looked to be 2 missiles. Russia at first mentioned something about being missing some missiles, and then they said, oh, no, they're not missing. On that same day, we hit an area that was filled with those evildoer people who back up every terrorist group. America. We bombed Americans. And, of course, somehow, Mossad agents were there. How the fuck would they know that if they killed 30 people? No, I mean it. That would mean they'd have inside information to know about it. And these missiles were launched from where? Ship. You might want to look up all of the capabilities of these missiles. See also people using shoulder mount launches for others. There's a version of this that's actually launchable from a vehicle, but I don't know. But again, this has massive propaganda value and is not in the English language version on the 20th of that day. It kept talking over and over and over again about Russia being put under pressure because they blew up the equivalent to the Red Cross trying to feed, clothe, and treat people in a rebel-held area that Russia did not want them to get to. What else happened during the week? Water pump station was bombed and cut off in the rebel-held parts of Aleppo. Excuse me. 91 people killed, reported on the 23rd. All of this was attributed to Syrians and Russians bombing the area. Oh, it's only 100 people. Water is being used as a weapon by both sides. As of the 24th, an estimated over 1 million people in the area have had their water deliberately shut off by blowing up or shutting off these things, these water pumps, using them as bargaining chips. And on the 20th, again, independent corroboration and video and photos of a convoy being hit and everybody suspecting very strongly the Russians did it, versus a completely unsubstantiated, effectively a rumor in 2 paragraphs, only in Arabic, on a notoriously propagandistic site, saying that those evildoer Americans and Mossad, and I'm sure somewhere in the corner was somebody counting change and looking very, very much like a stereotypical Jewish person like the Nazis put up, was also in the room. What could possibly go wrong if you only publish it in one language, the language that's the dominant language in the area, for their consumption, and avoid publishing it in English, even though this would be a major propaganda coup for that same... It's on their same server. Why the hell isn't it translated? No citations, and they misspelled the name of the weapon used. Really? Maybe they didn't misspell it. Maybe it's lost in translation. Anybody out there fluent in Arabic writing? Want to go visit the page? It's right below. The unedited version is there, as well as the archived copies. It went through a change 3 days later. I wonder what they altered. According to Battlefield... I'm reading it in badly translated to English. According to Battlefield source in the province of Aleppo, 3 rockets from caliber kind launched by the Russian ships targeted operations room for terrorists in Dera, Izzat, misspelled I'm sure, west of Aleppo, in Mount Simon, famous for harsh nature of mountainous conditions and ancient caves in the area. Sputnik's news source said the operations room with 30 leading officials from Turkey, the United States, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Britain, and the Mossad were there, running terrorist operations in Aleppo and Idlib. 100 people were able to escape from eastern neighborhoods of... wait a minute, that's on the other side. Despite terrorist threats... Oh, they're referring to the people running the hell away because everybody was told to evacuate the area because people were going to start bombing the water supply. I guess they snuck that part in there for the day. Wait a minute. How is that written? Oh yeah, that's the second paragraph in Arabic that talks about this. 100 people were able to escape from eastern neighborhoods of Aleppo despite terrorist threats. As for the situation on the ground now, between the source that the Syrian army killed about 20 militants during the clashes in the last 2 days, and then it refers to an area called the 1070. Snipers were firing at civilians in Hamadan area. Note that they're a part of the 1070 area with parents, and the last part with militants. There was a mixed population they were dealing with. The 3rd military zone with Syrian army, published that day. The same day that a bombing occurred, killing a bunch of basically the Red Cross people going into the area. And then above it, a separate paragraph looking very appended. Oh, we have reports that there was 3 rockets launched to kill off those evildoers from America because Americans are always supporting ISIS. If anybody has an archive of it before it was edited on the 23rd, I'd appreciate seeing it. Might want to look up when the story was reposted. Might want to look up how many revisions it went through. Might want to see if there's any way to find that or track it. And again, Arabic only for an Arabic audience, reposted without translating it even a little bit properly, obviously, so that you could see some bias here into English, and being posted credulously to credulous viewers who want to repost it because it doesn't matter if it's really just propaganda or if it's really designed to destroy morale in every country involved, as long as it supports your political ideology so you can get your elected person into place. See also the asshat who has that engine. Yeah, it's a bullshit story. Yeah, it contains deliberately inserted errors. Yes, it looks a whole hell of a lot like a completely different typed up paragraph shoved in place, even in Arabic. And it's only 2 paragraphs. One half talks about this meme, the other one talks about, most likely, an accident with the Russians hitting people with explosives. And non-accidents of them in the intervening days blowing the crap out of the water supply in an area to starve people out. Hey, at least the English language version couldn't get away with spinning that too much. Actually, they tried to. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And please stop reposting the stuff in my comment section.